Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to 2022. Today's video we are going to do a Q&A, but before we do that I guess we could talk about the new year and some plans for the channel, and then we'll move over to the Q&A. So with that said, 2022, got a lot of plans for the channel, a lot of plans for the business, and the channel is just kind of part of the business at this point. Even though the channel started the business, it is kind of a backseat to it now just because of everything that's going on. But either way, there's a lot of things I plan on doing. One, trying to figure out how to do all of this and add a couple more aspects to it all by myself. Now, as I mentioned before, I was originally going to move this year, but with everything going on, which I will talk about later on, I'm just not able to move at this time. So with that said, we are going to stay here for another year. It means another year of the 300, the tub, and of course the low boys up front here. So with that said, I'm just going to keep growing coral, do the best that I can to get it out on disc, and try to get as much WYSIWYG and coral up on the website that I can, given that 90% of it has already been removed and sold from the 300. But with that said, the 3D printing is doing very well. Unfortunately, I still don't have enough printers, even with 22 of them, and most of the time, all of those printers working, it's still not enough. Orders are still taking a little while to process, and there's really nothing I can do about that. If I wanted to add some more printers, I could probably throw them up in my spare bathroom upstairs or something, but that's kind of weird. So we're just going to keep the 22 printers here and just keep processing orders as fast as I can. I know that I did add a system where I'm updating you guys during the process of like, hey, it's in line, hey, it's being printed, and hey, it's being shipped. You guys are getting updates now, which seem to be cutting back on the amount of emails wondering where your orders are at. But yeah, so my plan this year is just to keep creating things, take a lot more Fusion 360 courses, and just keep making different things that you guys can enjoy. Plus, a lot of the custom work that you guys are setting in, nobody else in the industry is doing this right now. Taking your ideas and just designing stuff based on your ideas and stuff that you send in, and you know, just developing new products and stuff that you guys can benefit from. So yeah, I definitely take pride in that. I really appreciate the support, and yeah, hopefully I can expand on that. I just need to kind of rework my days and figure out where I'm going to get the additional time. So speaking of that, this year, I guess personal goal wise, because we just talked about the business, try to get down to my ideal weight of about 190, 195 pounds, kind of stay there, just because I do plan on doing several BJJ competitions this year. Of course, my first one is in like 20 days. I'm going to go in at about 195 pounds, maybe I'll carb up to 200, I don't know. I am up in a little bit higher weight class, so I plan on doing that one plus an additional 2 or 3 of them before the end of the year. So I'm going to try to get my target weight and stay there all year, instead of this YOLO or yo-yo, is it yo-yo or whatever it is, this up and down dieting stuff, you know, just based on how I'm feeling and what I'm doing at the time. So I'm just going to try to get that weight and stay there and keep training all year long and hopefully do pretty well. On top of that, just going to try to do different things. I'm trapped down here all the time. I wouldn't say I'm trapped. I love my job. Don't let me try to fool you. I love my job. I love what I do. I love the work. But I am also trapped down here. So I'm going to try to get out more, try to get out in the sunlight, because you guys keep saying I'm pale. So I'm going to try to do some more sunlight stuff when that comes up here in a couple months. Just try to get out and do more, and just try to be a little bit more social, since I'm making building a lot more relationships with this BJJ stuff. So hopefully I'll get out there and be able to get some more stuff and get some sun, so I'm not so white, right? And I guess on top of that, just kind of personal growth wise, gonna continue to do well, just trying to improve my mental, I won't say stability, but mental outlook on life, just trying to be positive in everything and understand that regardless of how negative things can be at times and how bad things can be and how people can impact your life, understand that that's just one aspect, and at the end of the day, it's going to be okay regardless of you know, what is going around with you. So just kind of changing my outlook on life and trying to move forward and just stay positive to the best that I can, because I've been negative my entire life. Everything's just been like, oh well, I'll look at the negative side. Well, over the last year, I have learned to transition that to looking at more positive aspect on things and on life, and just trying to move forward in that direction, because it just feels better. It does, and it just makes the days better and all that. Now, another couple things. I'm going to read more books. Well, I'm not going to read because I can't read, so I'm just going to listen to more books. Going to try to budget my time a little bit better. Get up a little bit earlier, get a little bit more work done, train a little bit harder, and go to bed earlier, because, well, can't be staying up at 1 o'clock and getting up at 5. It doesn't work well. So I'm going to try to go to bed earlier so I can get more work done during the day. But other than that, that's enough talking videos for 5 minutes. Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully you guys have some good resolutions, and hopefully you stick to them. So with that said, let's go to move on to our Q&A. So today, I figure we're going to start it off with something that will probably piss everybody off, because why not, right? It's not going to piss you off. Well, maybe. How would or how you keep nuisance algae from, that's pretty shit, from overtaking a freshly cycled tank that has coral in it requiring lighting? So first things first, there is a debate out there on if you should be putting coral in to a tank that's just freshly cycled or a tank that's in the process of being cycled. For me personally, I only add coral after the tank is cycled and it has some stability. So obviously zero nitrites, zero ammonia, just a little bit of nitrates and phosphates. Of course, you don't want to be too low and you don't want to be too high. In the happy range there that we talked about before. And that's when I will add my coral. So if you're one of those people who just want to add coral as soon as you set up your tank, again, there's some people that think that's fine. Personally, it's not something I would do, just because there is that stability aspect. If you are going through the cycling process or you just finished it, you might be dealing with high nutrients, aka here, or very low nutrients, and you might run into dino. So making sure your nutrients and the rest of your water parameters are stable for at least a month, and then you can start adding your coral, because you can really dial in the tank within 30 days. You don't have to rush it, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure everything is stable before you start adding your coral. So I would say if you are just adding coral to a freshly cycled tank, which a lot of people might be doing just because you're ready to go and you want to get it done, first things first, I would add coral that can deal with fluctuations, like easy stuff, hammers, torches, frog spawns, mushrooms, zoas, leathers, that kind of stuff. I would stay away from SPS if possible, unless you are experienced and you can get a tank a little bit more stable quicker. Now, if you are currently dealing with algae in the tank and the tank is just cycled and you just add the coral, well, what you got to do is you got to get that algae out of the tank. Now, you didn't say how much you had or how bad it was. Do you have a little bit of fur? Do you have like long strands of hair algae? Because your approach is going to be a little bit different based on how much algae you have. But let's just say that you have some basic green hair algae, nothing too crazy within the rocks. Well, that's an indication that you have elevated nitrates and phosphates within your tank. So that's going to also negatively affect your coral. But what you need to realize is that there's a reason why you have those excess nitrates and phosphates in your tank. Either your rock was really dirty during the curing process and it needs to kind of just get that stuff out, which you can do during water changes, or maybe you just have really dirty water, maybe you don't have an efficient skimmer, maybe you don't have a refugium that's taking care of it. Regardless of what's going on, you need to find the source of those excess nitrates and phosphates so you can remove them. Now, what's going to happen is if this algae keeps growing, it's going to pull out the available nitrates and phosphates within the water column, and you're going to read like 0 on your test kit. Basically, what's going on is those algae, or that algae, is using up the available in the water column to grow itself, then in turn starving out the coral and the other inhabitants in the tank that require algae or nitrates and phosphates to grow. So yeah, even though nitrates and phosphates aren't directly a growing, I would say they aren't something you need to grow coral, but they definitely help with color pigmentation and just overall happiness of polyp extension, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I would say find the source, eliminate the source, and all else fails, if you have a stable tank that you can move that coral back into while you continue the cycling process of this one, or you have a friend that can hold on to them or whatever, just until you get the tank a little bit more stable, that might be easier. Hopefully you didn't buy a ton of SPS and it's in there kind of suffering with the lack of nutrients now that the algae is growing. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. I know we're almost at 10 minutes here. If you guys have any more, which I actually have a whole stack, so I'm going to try to get a bunch of these questions done. I might change my shirt. I don't know. Either way, if you see me tomorrow with the same shirt, it's because I recorded it today. Just want to clarify that. But either way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. A little bit of rambling in the beginning, and hopefully it didn't really piss you off too much with the questions. So, with that said, guys, I will see you tomorrow or the day after. All right? Peace.